sure, guys, who will believe that was the time that Dokubo Asari insulted Fubara and called him a devil's child? I don't know if it's a new or old video. I don't know, but I just saw the video. I said, let me share it to you guys. So Fubara was actually attacked by Dokubo Asari before. I don't know if it's before or now, but that video showed that it's actually an old video, by the way. But this man called Dokubo Asari has proven that he's not one-sided, and he can never be trusted. If you trust him, you are at your own risk. Tinubu before, he was swearing with his life that if the Tinubu does not do well, hold me accountable. Now he's the one attacking Tinubu. Wike was his co-friend before. Now he's attacking Wike. So I think I've noticed that if you are not working for him or his favor, he will eventually turn against you. That means there's no difference between Dokubo Asari and Wike, because this is how Wike also acts. If you're against him, or if you're not doing things that favors him, he will go against you. So this is how Dokubo Asari is. Take a look for yourself and see what I'm talking about. I'll be with you guys in a minute.
No be John man. How? May nobody come tell you say na Ijaw man. That man no be John man. That man na Satan Pikin. They want to make her die. Then they call say na Ijaw matter. That I used to say they come here. Maybe here I didn't make her when they come kill her. Never come call her. Then nobody go join. Waiting that they drag, you don't know. You know waiting that they drag? No. You know the agreement they then sign? No. Agreement in agreement, you know be so. Agreement in agreement, you know be so. Agreement in agreement, you know be so. When they do their own agreement, you know concern you say make them come kill you. It's down family front. You know do how many things they make them come kill us. Please say for River State. We drive IBO, we come out there. The building is gone there. This will be liquid. That's it all. Down from it. Look at where. Now it will come out from inside. How? May nobody come tell you say na Ijaw man. That man no be Ijaw man. That man na Satan Pikin. They want to make her die. Then they call say na Ijaw matter. That I used to say they come here. Maybe here I didn't make her when they come kill her. Never come call her. Then nobody go join. Waiting that they drag, you don't know. You know waiting that they drag? No. You know the agreement they then sign? No. Agreement in agreement, you know be so. Agreement in agreement, you know be so. Agreement in agreement, you know be so. When they do their own agreement, you know concern you say make them come kill you. It's down family front. You know do how many things they make them come kill us. Please say for River State. We drive IBO, we come out there. The building is gone there. This will be liquid. That's it all. Down from it. Look at where. Now it will come out from inside. How? May nobody come tell you say na Ijaw man. That man no be Ijaw man. That man na Satan Pikin. They want to make her die. Then they call say na Ijaw matter. That I used to say they come here. Maybe here I didn't make her when they come kill her. Never come call her. Then nobody go join. Waiting that they drag, you don't know.
Well, joining me now to discuss this is Omoyele Sowore, is the convener of #Revolution Now movement. He joins virtually from Abuja. Thank you for your time. All right, let me start by asking you, Mr. Sowore, your take on the declaration of the state of emergency in Rivers State before we even move to the suspension of the elected governor, his deputy, and of course the members of the State House?
Well, the declaration of emergency was clearly an attempt to sacrifice an entire structure in Nigeria. Not the first, but one of the first, but more brazen by the president. In this case, they wanted Wike to have and control the entire state known as Rivers, one of Nigeria's richest states. So everything has been pointing to this since Fubara was elected or selected, whichever one you want to agree with. And Fubara, prior to that, was Wike's bagman. But when they started disagreeing, he decided that it was time to get rid of Fubara. And Fubara, of course, being in the saddle of power or governorship, fought back. So I think it got to a point where Wike had to reach to Tinubu, who is his principal in this case, to move in and take the state over from Fubara so that they can have it to himself. That's what they just executed. And before you go further, let me say this, it's very important. Like, there are certain individuals in this country, there are plenty of them, but there are two of them that we must watch out for. Three of them, actually. FCT Minister Wike, the President of the Senate, Akpabio, and the Nigerian President himself, Bola Tinubu. These are guys that are very dangerous. The reason they're dangerous is because they have lived a life of crime and impunity, whichever way you want to describe it, for a long time and gotten away with a lot.
Okay,
So
would you like to expatiate on that? You said that there are three individuals we must look at, according to you, that we must look out for in the country. The president of the country, that's President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Nigeria Senate.
The Senate President, and also the Minister of the FCT.
Nyesom Wike, and President Bola Tinubu himself. The reason why these guys are different from every dangerous person you have ever met in your life is that they have risen through the ranks of crime and impunity and gotten to the top without consequences. That's why they are dangerous, and that's what you see them doing now. And this morning I was invited to a media interview on Stratus TV, and I did predict that the Nigerian National Assembly will not do anything. They will endorse Bola Tinubu's state of emergency. They are all in on this, and that is why Nigerians should understand that there's no way out except the way they've ganged up against us. We must gang up against them too, and very fast. Otherwise,
okay, great. I would like you to speak also on the issue of the governor, of the state being suspended. What does this do for precedent?
Well, this is not the first governor to be suspended in an emergency. Obasanjo used to do it for lunch. He suspended Fayose, and I think he introduced a state of emergency in Plateau, and I don't know if there was another. Yeah, there was a point he removed the governor of, that was a different style, but he removed the governor of Bayelsa, Alamasei, and put Goodluck Jonathan, his deputy, and they got him arrested. So, and then in places where he could introduce state of emergency, he got a lot of these governors impeached. That is what they are doing here. It has nothing to do with the constitution. I do not quote constitutional provisions in Nigeria because I don't believe in Nigerian constitution. I've said this too many times already.
Why don't you believe in the country's constitution?
Because it was not made by Nigerian people, and it was not made for the Nigerian people. It was made by the military for the elites, the people that are using it now to commit the kind of political crimes you are seeing on a daily basis. That is why I reject the constitution. If the constitution was made by Nigerian people, the kind of provisions and the loopholes and lacunae they are using now would have been detected and removed, and they would not be part of our constitutional makeup. So I've always said that except we make a different constitution for Nigeria, I would never believe in these military songs of praise. I call it SOP or newsletter that they call constitution. It is not Nigerian constitution. It's a Nigerian military or Nigerian retired military constitution.
All right. Just quickly also, for some political spectators and watchers, they feel that I mean, this might just be an opportunity for maybe the opposition to really voice out, political opposition like political parties and whatnot. You, of course, belong to a political party. You contested in the last election. We saw just today also there was talks around a coalition. There was even a press conference to that effect where we saw the former vice president of the country at that press conference. He spoke, and also the former governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai. I would like your take in terms of the role of opposition now. What can be done?
But what is dangerous at this time, besides these three men I mentioned to you and their politics, is also the danger of falling for political opposition scam. This is how.
Can you speak on that? What do you mean by political opposition scam?
Yeah, the people who are capitalizing, who might capitalize on this, are not actually opposed to this. They are just opportunists who would capitalize, who will use anything that comes their way to make themselves or legitimize what they claim is their opposition.
Can you be more specific on who these people are?
Atiku is a former APC person, former PDP operative. El-Rufai, who just last week moved to SDP, that is already blowing up in his face because they say they don't want him there. And whomever you've seen who was at the press conference today, claiming that they are opposed to this, have also in the past participated in this kind of impunity. Atiku was vice to Obasanjo for 8 years. We mentioned Obasanjo's name. He never did a press conference at that time to say it was wrong for Obasanjo to have done what he did during his time against his opponents at that time. El-Rufai, as you know him, is the biggest snake in the house. That one will kill, he will destroy, he will lie. That is how they operate. And they're using this period now to recruit the unwary people of Nigeria. If you fall for it, too bad for you, because these are APC operatives who are mutating in different directions. At the end of the day, they are not opposed to each other. They all just want an opportunity to either negotiate for power or grab power for the same thing. If they have an opportunity to come to power, they will do worse things. El-Rufai did worse things in his state. El-Rufai buried 300 people, Shiites.
Do you have evidence to that?
Overnight. Oh, why are you talking about? Why are you asking about? Are you not a journalist? You didn't know that?
No, I'm also asking you. I mean,
no. I have evidence. There's even satellite evidence of the graveyard of 300 Shiites that El-Rufai buried overnight. Some of them in shallow graves. El-Rufai killed people in southern Kaduna. El-Rufai confessed, that one, if you don't know, at least you will know this one, that they were paying Fulani herdsmen and bandits to come in Kaduna State when he first became governor. That's the person you call political opposition, and we are going to be reporting them to Nigerians as the opposition, and then one day you find out that they're not opposed to anything good. They are only opposed to, the people who have not invited them to eat. So please, this is my position, that you should be careful how you qualify. Just use your adjective very carefully.
I mean, they belong to political parties, so who, of course,
I belong to
been in government. So I mean, the term to use, irrespective, I believe is the word opposition. But let's move away from that. How would you?
APC was the political opposition to PDP, and you know better today. And these are the guys who set up APC, El-Rufai and Atiku and the rest of them.
You also belong to a political party. I think I can also call you an opposition.
I just told you that, but I'm not a member of APC or PDP, so.
Yeah. Anyway, let's quickly, before I let you go, how do you think this issue in Rivers, should have been handled by the president against what we saw?
There's no way they would have handled it differently. This is how they operate. The president didn't need anybody's advice to know that they were going to hijack Rivers, because they are already planning for 2027, and Wike must have given Tinubu the condition that without removing this guy and restoring, giving him Rivers complete control, which he doesn't hide. He has made his demand public from day one that he may not be able to help him, and they're just walking you through to the answer. There's no question that there's no way anybody could have done this differently. This was going to be the outcome they wanted, as long as Wike was going to be pleased. He needed Rivers State sacrificed on his altar before he can accept to do more work, I guess. So Otherwise, this is some of the most ridiculous, most brazen impunity that you can see in any political system. That you just wake up, remove a governor. And don't forget that all of the arms of government are involved in the conspiracy. The judiciary was mobilized to seize rivers. That's the Supreme Court. They took their allocation. And the reason the Supreme Court took the allocation was because they said the democracy there is not strong enough.
Okay.
Go back and put the legislative, the state assembly back in place. Now you are giving this allocation to a person who was not even elected at all. It was an appointee of Tinubu and Wike. And immediately, the first thing they said after this man was appointed is that, look, we are going to release the allocation to you. And by our calculation, you get 400 billion naira in 6 months.
All right. Just quickly, I just want to chip this in because, there was conversation around saying that maybe someone like Shore, for instance, if he was in Fubara shoes, what would he have done?
I've never considered myself as a person who will be state governor. But if perhaps I was governor of the state in Nigeria and you declare a state of emergency there, you have to kill everybody in that state to rule over it.
So
they know better. They know better.
So it's gonna be a fight to finish if you were a governor. And such
I wasn't gonna give up. To me, all right, so that you can understand the context very well. This should come to the annulment of a free and fair election. If I won the election, on a free and fair basis, so I would take it as if my election has been annulled and my mandate has been taken away from me, and I will mobilize and ensure that this did not happen and it would never repeat itself. But the reason why the Fubaras of this world are weak is because they have all along been part of the enablers of the evil that Wike became. He was his bagman for a long time. He was stealing money together. So I'm sure they already showed him his dossier. And within the 6 months that he's removed, it's debatable if he has immunity or not. So
all right.
Maybe FCC was the one who escorted him out of government house, and he knows what was up.
All right, thank you so much for your time.
No wonder nobody takes him serious. Nobody takes Dokubo Asari serious. But so, guys, what do you have to say about the video? What about Sowore? Because I think Sowore made a valid point about this issue happening in the River State and Wike issue. But as people have been saying it, that Tinubu had no right to actually remove any governor, any elected governor, and put somebody that was not elected by the state to rule them. That means you are forcing them. You are forcing the leader to them, who does not sound right. You cannot force a leader on somebody. Somebody must willingly accept this. Okay, I want this person to be my leader, and I think that was why they voted for Fubara. And then now removing people's choice and giving them who they don't want does not symbolize democracy. No. It does not symbolize democracy. This thing might escalate to something that we might not be able to control. I'm saying this and I'm still crying this. This is not the right way to go about it. I don't know what else this government wants from all, but imposing a leader on River State is not the right thing. Though like I said, that these things are just a way they want to pave for their illegal, their rigging. They want to remove anybody that will be a threat to them during the election. So I guess that's why they are doing all these things. But we'll see how the election will go. I'll see you guys in my next video as AOV. Stay tuned, guys.